Welcome to another edition of Konkonsapic Time. Of Frame Nana AJC Kappa. We are still in Ghana month. We are celebrating Ghana. Ghana at 66. Ghana Edi Fie Baku Edu Since 66. Oh, 66 years. We need 6 billion. Oh, account name they come more than 400 billion. How am we? Hey, that's a brave penny. Bye. Yet is a comedian. Now, so Ghana, another head car, a work room, our education system. Education system, they call bola. Co school, across class 5. Books are a good chin in a bag or deco school. As is a quack to bomb Ukraine. Chroma, school for a good chroma. Obi wa JHS, Niamo Sian, theory. When did Ghana gain independence? Who is the Queen Mother of England? When did ECOWAS establish their first military camp in Ghana? It's a pasa bola goose. And you know, National Science and Maths quiz for be Science and Maths quiz. Omoko international normal kwa kofeli because practical aspect no ma bon omunim we. Okay. Emerson omunim we. Yes, you kofa be by step. Why na young one as a canty madam and a crown crier. Yet it is Wukruma. Education system not bomb. And education ministry no so yare. And in the system in any education and casano. A potam. And yet it's Wukruma. And so a man a woman who bet me a real school. Ako JHS, SHS every year. Ako tertiary. Who you have rabbit in a fee. Untimin creative she because of my system no. Any education system ni nyina no ayeze as a fun krom banchia kai afaso a peche and no am so my Captain Smart akasa concerning education system. I don't want to talk much. Yente Captain Smart is here.
Any form of education that cannot solve any problem is a useless dedication. So we get up in the morning, especially you, our mothers, will bathe us, rush, put us in the cars, drive us to the school. You go, come pick us to the house. Daddy will come. Daddy is here. Yeah. At the end of the day, after school, there's nothing in our skulls.
Yeah.
It is because our education is not tailored towards our problems.
No, you're right.
And because we are not solving our problems, we can never become rich.
But solving our problems starts from within us. I mean, surely. Because we have to be willing to change. Anna.
We are changed already.
I mean, people think, well, for the better or for
every Ghanaian is changed.
How?
You see, when a lady wakes up in the morning after taking her bath and everything, nobody actually goes to the bedroom or where she's making up to say that use this powder, use that brush. Women know that already. That's if you a leader should pump some sense into your heads that the ladies that you are dealing with, they know which brush to use. So they know which man they can choose. So they know which political party they can vote for. And they know exactly what kind of development they're looking for.
But
so changing inside of us, we are already a changed being. What we need is a leader. If we bring Christ here and Christ decide not to lead, but will behave like the led, it will be the same story.
I have very radical views on leaders. You know, because and probably this is not the place because we're celebrating independence. Another
no, you can say it. I mean, this is the time.
Because I really think that leaders, somebody to lead is us black people, and let me just generalize here. We always think of self first before we think of others.
Okay, I understand.
That's how I see
I understand your point. But when it comes to leadership, you must first think about yourself as a leader. Look at yourself if you're a fool.
Yeah, but I'm not talking as a leader, though.
Yes. If you're a fool, you can lead. So look at yourself. If you're a fool, don't come for leadership.
But they do.
That's why we have fools ruling us everywhere in Africa.
Okay.
If you're a leader, the first thing you do self-introspection. That, am I a fool? And every foolish person knows he's foolish or she's foolish.
No, some people don't know.
No, they know.
Hey,
every man.
They think that foolishness is going to solve some problem.
They know. If you are sensible, you know you are sensible. If you are empty, you know you are empty. The way you walk, the way you talk will depict and dictate to the people that this guy is a fool and he himself is aware.
But he was okay from your statement. So is a fool that we actually voted for. So how does that makes us all foolish?
You see, the point is that there's a universal convention that every country must go to the polls once every 5 years, once every 7 years, once every 4 years, or whatever the country think is good for them. By that measure, people put themselves out there as leaders. And unfortunately for us as people, because we are not able to understand the paradigms of change, we end up changing just the leaders without thinking about changing our roles.
Yes.
So instead of going for education, we go for schooling. Instead of going for development, we are thinking about heaven. And I keep telling people, I'm not interested in your heaven.
But our teachers trained to educate.
No, we are not trained to educate. Nobody is trained in Africa to educate nobody.
I mean, that much I know. You know,
we just go to school.
Yes.
And you see,
Chew and pour.
Going to school is a problem. Being educated solves a problem.
Yeah.
School going is a problem. And I just came from University of Ghana, Legon. We just had some lectures. I was one of the speakers. And I was asking just one question. If you look at our educational system, they tell you one teacher cannot teach all the subjects. But you allow one single child to study all the subjects. Why?
Oh,
if a grown up whose brain is matured is not allowed to teach all the subjects from science to mathematics to English to social studies to technical drawing to everything.
But they do it on the basic level.
Why are you asking one single child to learn something even the grown-up cannot teach?
So what would you change about
What
that?
we have to do one is to cancel BEC, one of the most useless exams in the world. Tell me.
I mean,
which employment in this world that the basic requirement is BEC certificate? Show me.
I don't know what BEC is.
So that is why those of you who have lived outside the country, you don't have to give a certificate to a child 9, 10, 12 years. Or
That's true.
So what we have to do as people is to resituate and re-engineer the faculties of our education and make sure that, one, the child is going to school to do what? Is he just going to school because the father is rich and can pay? If that is the answer, it's wrong. That is schooling. It's not education. So what we have to do, number one, is to identify our problems. One problem in this country is bad roads. So how beautiful is it going to be that you have a president, you have a leader, you have a government, you have an administration that says that Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, sit here. University of Ghana, Legon, sit here. University of Development Studies, sit here. We have bad roads. Our youth are unemployed. Come after 3 months and tell this administration, this country, how you think we can solve.
But that already happens though.
It doesn't happen anywhere. People are still in the university studying Latin.
Oh, really?
They are studying Swahili. In this present world, you are here in Ghana studying Swahili. Meanwhile, the South African ambassador's daughter is studying English. Are you sick?
Sometimes I also think that schooling, I know it's to do with education, but it also has to do with socializing and learning how to socialize. And that's also important.
People who go to school can never socialize.
Oh, but they do.
It takes
learning.
No, because, let's say, you are a beautiful lady. You are somebody's wife. If you go just to school, I can just talk to you anyhow. But if I'm educated, you see, people who go to school can never become a gentleman or a lady unless you're educated.
Yes, but
education will polish you to become a lady or a gentleman. So when I meet you, beautiful Benson, hi, sweetheart, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How are you doing? You are somebody's wife. I cannot be touching you in public.
Kind of education doesn't usually come from school, though.
That is schooling.
Schooling isn't. No, school is different. Schooling is different. Teachers are there to teach a subject and impart whatever knowledge that they have, like, in whatever form. But then schooling, you're talking about schooling about basic social skills. That should come from the home.
Well, you are talking about bringing a child according to the Bible, the way he should be, and when he or she grows, will not depart from it. I am talking about the classroom education, okay? Because we are lazy as people, we tend to relegate the responsibility of the educational quarters of our developmental ladder to the parents. And because we are again lazy, we think that what the parents should do, the teachers must do. And this is the problem of Africa. And until we sit down and go the way that would help us to develop, and we stop yesubo, the second coming, Christ is coming, Christ is not coming the next 20 years.
So I have to ask, how do you think churches have an influence?
No. It's the worst thing that has ever happened to Africa. I'm a Christian. I mean, a good standing member of the Church of Pentecost. But let me be sincere with you.
Yeah, I hope so.
The best thing that can happen to us as people is understanding the principles of Christ and not miracles.
But everybody wants miracles now because things are hard for most
That is why we are insane.
I know.
You see, so if we are to develop, how beautiful would it be that after these three investors put together, government giving them $1 million or $2 million to research into how we can affordably fix our roads. You know, construction, I'm
just trying to imagine what you mean by leaders when the leaders are doing the same thing.
Okay. You see, you cannot be doing the same thing all of the time and expect a different results.
Of course.
That is practically impossible. Okay. So Ghana, we've been doing the same thing over the years. From 1992 up until today, 2024, we're going to the elections, to the polls, and we'll be electing either the NDC or the NPP. Why can't we change? I asked this question on TV, and people would tell me, "Oh, Captain, Pacho na davendana, you bet me to have independent candidate. The point is that mentally we are derailed.
Yeah.
And because we don't have a Ghanaian ruling us, we keep voting for the British Ghanaians, the American Ghanaians, the European Ghanaians.
Well, because we're hoping they're enlightened.
They are what?
Well, we're hoping they're...
Yes. And you see, there is a saying that anytime anybody or any institution tries to normalize the abnormalities, stupidity rules common sense. Anytime anybody or any institution tries to normalize the abnormalities, stupidity rules common sense. When you say, as at SHS1 student Omuko school, common prospectus at Ediko school, no, it take you over 7,000 Ghana cedis. And so you see around free education. Free SHSO, but Obo cannot less than 7,000 Ghana cedis and son of Betty Miyako school. Two need be a ban of academy. A free you, but we need 7,000 Ghana cedis or banning to Miyako school. And the free ne, and any day. More than Mukanje. Free now more come. And any day, say, we need 7,000 or the better prospectus. I'm over. And a proof is no more indicated say, don't forget any of the above items before reporting to school. You have to me why some are pesque bottom into the beba. Anyway, and that is what it is. It is what it is. Channel near media god and to subscribe and subscribe. Ufemina, Eji Sikapa Macau.